Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom, and this is the Championship preview show for game week number 5. Which way do I have to go? That way. Only 41 game weeks after this one to go. Make yourself known if you are watching, if you are in the chat. Let me know that you can see me and that you can hear me loud and clear, and let me know which team you're supporting, who you are representing. We will go through one by one each of this next game week's worth of fixtures. Maybe we'll do a little bit of transfer talk with transfer deadline coming up tomorrow at 5 p.m. Maybe we'll do that at the end, but I will go live tomorrow and we'll do that properly then when we know how the landscape has changed even more. So as always, I'm really interested to get your guys' prediction and your guys' thoughts on what is likely to be happening this next game week. Right, let's go into the comments. Just check who is here. George is here. He's off to football training, though. Jay is here. Nice one. Matthew is here. Charlie, nice one. Charlie, John, QPR Forever is here. Jason is here. Jay says, thankfully, I'm not in at 2 a.m. There we go. Anir is here as well. It says, up are the Reds. Just before we go any further, this is the state of the channel now. It's great. We've got lots of lovely, wonderful backing. And as ever, this show, the Championship preview show, is sponsored by the Donovan brothers. Good old bunch of Millwall fans, those boys, in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London. A lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of this show. Michael died earlier this year, and his brothers have bought this sponsorship as a tribute to their now late brother. So great stuff. We thank them, and we thank Michael for being a fan of the show, and we respect, and his memory lives on through this sponsorship. So brilliant stuff from those boys. Right. Let's get into this. Now, I need to go over to the split screen. I think we're going to go to the league table first of all before we actually look through at the fixtures. So this is how we left things before the international break. 4 straight wins at the top there for Bristol City and Reading with their new managers. We got 2 teams on 10 points there, Bournemouth and Swansea. Bournemouth, the best of the relegated teams so far. Luton are there on their own on 9 points, just the 1 defeat and 3 wins to their name. Blackburn and Watford then. Watford bringing in the second best of the relegated teams. Unbeaten, Birmingham, they're the lowest ranked unbeaten team under Aitor Karanka. They're in 8th. Then we got a whole slew of teams on 5 points. QPR, Borough, Millwall, Rotherham and Stoke. Brentford, Preston, Cardiff, Norwich, Coventry and Huddersfield all on 4 points. Derby, thankfully for them, got off 0 points last game week with the win over at Norwich and Rooney's late free kick. Barnsley only have 1 point and do not have a manager. Forest have 0 points and have changed their manager. A lot has changed, and Wickham as well down there on 0 points. Sheffield Wednesday, who have actually only lost 1 game, are marooned at the bottom there on -7, but with a 0 goal difference and 5 points on the board, they would be in 13th place if they didn't have the big minus by their name. So that is the state of the table. Let's bring up this game week's worth of fixtures. As usual, a full round, but we're going into a 3-game week. So it's a little bit tighter this weekend. We're starting at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Actually, no, if I do that by round, we're absolutely not, because we've got Derby and Watford tomorrow night, haven't we? So we're starting on the Friday night, then we're all done by Sunday lunchtime. And then we do go in to another midweek round of games. So we've got Derby Watford on Friday. Tomorrow night. That will be a watch along on the channel. Come and join me for that one. Then a whole load, 10 3 o'clock kickoffs there is a plan, because I'm not going to be at the Luton Stoke game after all. There is a plan that I will be live for a Jeff Stelling Soccer Saturday style 3 p.m. show. Let me know if you'd be interested in that and you would be watching your team and maybe up for keeping us updated on how that's going. That being said, Brentford Coventry, Barnsley Bristol City, Luton Stoke, Birmingham Wednesday, Bournemouth QPR, Borough Reading, Blackburn Forest, Wycombe Millwall, Rotherham Norwich, Swansea Huddersfield, and then on the Sunday is Preston versus Cardiff. I am working, so I'm not sure whether that is on TV. It probably is on TV, but there will be no watch along for that one. So let's get into it now. Get your predictions on each game as we go. First up, as ever, we go to the top of the league, which at the moment means Bristol City, doesn't it? And they are going to be in action, if I can bring it up here, against Barnsley, managerless Barnsley. Excuse me. I'm clicking and clicking on the other screen. There we go. So Bristol City go off to Barnsley on the back of 4 straight victories. In their last game, Bristol City won over at Forest. We can speculate on whether there'll be anyone going in or out. They have today sold Joe Morrell, haven't they, off to Luton. Get your predictions in for that one. Barnsley and Bristol City. Remember, Barnsley have no manager. That was the team that played last time. If anyone's got an update on Tamas Callas for me, I don't know when he's going to be back. Otherwise, you would think that would be pretty much as you were, given that they are doing so well in the division and have those 4 wins from 4. Looking at Barnsley, another defeat for them, which proved to be the final nail in the coffin there for, I think, for Gerhard Struber's patience. Really, he's gone off to New York Red Bulls now. New signing, it was Callum Britton. Ludovic was released from his loan. So whatever they're going to do manager-wise, feels like we were here last season where they were without a manager for a long, long time. They're here again, aren't they? So we'll see what he comes up with. Maybe Britton makes a debut over at right wing-back. Who knows? I don't know who's in temporary charge, but I'm thinking you would have to make Bristol City favourites with the mitigating factor of there being no manager over at Barnsley helping the Robins. Let's have a look and see what you guys think. Callas is back in training. Oh, nice one. Thank you, Anir. 2-0 Bristol City. Ben seemed so hesitant when he said that means Bristol City, doesn't it, for top of the league? You say hesitant, I say trying to control the split screen. Sometimes I might speak slowly when I'm doing something else. Matthew said any score predictions I make should be dismissed as nonsense. Nah, come on. Pretty away win, says Chris. John says 2-0 Bristol City. Barnsley seriously poor this season. Lewis says this is the game that looks an absolute banker. So it'll be 1-0 Barnsley. 3-1 Bristol City was Matthew. 2-1 Bristol City Jay. We are heavily on Bristol City here, aren't we, guys? Annie's on Bristol City. Jay and Charlie. Bradley's got a draw, so we've got 1. And John as well. Okay, so that seems fairly conclusive to me. A lot of people are here on Bristol City for a 5th straight victory. What a start that would be for Dean Holden. Right, next up is Reading. And Reading will be going to Borough, going to see Mr. Warnock up in the north. Let's have a look and see what Reading did last time out. and they proved me wrong, as they've done already about 3 times this season, Reading. They just keep winning. Get your predictions in for Middlesbrough versus Reading. That was Reading last time out, a 1-0 win over relegated Watford. Not sure if anyone can help me out on Lucas João, whether he's going to be back in contention after hurting his shoulder. Do you know, I've got a suspicion he was on the bench, wasn't he? Yeah. So he was on the bench there. So maybe he could come back in. But Puskas started and he scored. Otherwise, expect it to be very staid from Reading. But Thomas Esteves has come in on loan. He will likely, I would think he'd come in right back there. We're still without John Swift as well, but Reading looking lovely. No Ejaria there I can see in the last game as well. So, keep your predictions coming in for this one. In terms of Borough, they've brought in Patrick Roberts has come back on loan from Manchester City, although he's one of those players who's owned by Manchester City, but has played for about 8 more clubs than that. So Borough, well, I'm sure they'll continue with the same formation. Morsey is now into that team. Akpom has been scoring in all his games so far, hasn't he, since arriving there. Borough, you'd fancy Warnock by the end of the season to have a winning home record, wouldn't you? So, look, I've fallen foul of this a couple of times. So, Reading fans will probably be pleased to hear this, but surely the winning run has to come to an end at some point, doesn't it? And Warnock and Borough are away. So maybe a draw, I think, in this one. Let's see what you guys are saying. Jay says 2-2. Anir says Reading. QPR 1-1. Chris says draw. John says draw. Borough tough to beat at home indeed. Bradley's down for a draw. Everyone's down for a draw. Charlie's down for a draw. Yao fit to start. Okay, that would be interesting to see what he does up top there. Reading 2-1. We've got a prediction 1 for Reading. Draw there. Where are we looking? One more prediction down here. 2-0 Reading. So a couple of predictions for Reading. I'm on the draw. Look, it's time if Reading and Bristol City start to get up to 10 games and there's 20 points on the board, where people will then start to take them seriously for longevity now. And I think we've got 2-3 game weeks straight. So we're literally going to go from 4 games. We'll be on double the games by next Saturday. So it's a really interesting couple of weeks here coming up. Right, let's move on to our next team in third position, which is Bournemouth. And Bournemouth will be playing at home to Mark Warburton's Queen's Park Rangers. And we had Bournemouth last time, didn't we, on our watch-along. So we know only too well what they did. Get your predictions in on Bournemouth, who are at home to QPR. Bournemouth versus QPR. My only criticism of Bournemouth so far, and I'm repeating myself, is they just keep scoring worldies, which is great. It's great for us on the channel. It's great to watch, but not that sustainable. They were good value for the win over Coventry, but Lerma smashed in a great goal and Gosling another one as well. So I'd be interested to see what happens tomorrow with reference to Josh King and David Brooks, whether they still are going to be at the club. Not sure it matters. He's done a very good job, Jason Tyndall, of keeping everything very lovely and stable at Bournemouth. So maybe Danjuma comes back in. I'm assuming he'll be fit now again. Otherwise, you wouldn't see much change from what you can see already sort of parlaying into their regular team there. Let's take a look and see what QPR got up to last time. we have had signings since then, haven't we? If I can remember all of them. Chris Willock has come in. Albert Adoma has come in. And someone helped me in the chat. Someone helped me. QPR have signed someone else, haven't they? And I can't remember who the hell it is. Get your predictions in for this one. Bournemouth versus QPR. That's what QPR did last time. They drew 1-1. What you can't see there, because I haven't scrolled down, is Macaulay Bonne came off the bench to score. Lyndon Dykes did score for Scotland in one of the internationals as well. So he continues his good start there. The only player other than Ryan Manning, who we now don't expect to stay, could Bright Samuel be interested in anyone tomorrow? Who knows? Who knows indeed. Charlie Kelman, says a couple of people in the chat, has come in from Southend. So a few people in now for QPR. Look, QPR are open. They can score against Bournemouth, but can they keep out those slick ex-Premier League players that the Cherries have? Lewis says 2-2. John 2-0 Bournemouth. Charlie says 2-1 Bournemouth. Joe 2-1 Bournemouth. 1-0 Bournemouth from Lee. Hoping for a Lyndon hat-trick, especially with Wallace at left-back. I wonder if they will have time, even if they do get the Manning deal done, to bring in a left-back as well, Rangers. Chris says home win. Scored draw. Lewis 1-1 Matthew. 3-1 Bournemouth. 1-0 Bournemouth. Brooks still the best player in the Championship. Will he still be here after 5 p.m. tomorrow? Away win. Kilman, thank you guys for letting me know. Bournemouth win there, says Jason. 2-1 Bournemouth. Says Anir. 3-1. I think he's saying QPR then, if he's worded it that way around. Was it Tom Carroll? I was thinking of Macaulay Bonne probably, because I knew I'd done 3 in one of my transfer updates. But obviously, Kelman has come in since we haven't covered that. Joe says 3-1 QPR. I think I'm going to go for a Bournemouth victory, but both teams to score in this one. I did think that if Jason Tyndall watching them there, I know they were playing against an ex-League One team, but well-organised and team with a good pattern of play in Coventry. But if he can keep that level of continuity and lack of chaos there, those players should easily be able to cope with the Championship that Bournemouth have got. And I don't envisage them losing anyone really that's going to badly adversely affect things tomorrow. So, I will go for Bournemouth in that one. And I must stop clicking that pen because it's very annoying, isn't it? Right, next up, we have 4th place, Swansea. And it is Swansea who are at home to Huddersfield Town. So it's Steve Cooper versus Carlos Corberon. Swansea up there are our 4th team, our 2nd team on 10 points as well. Get your predictions in. It is Swansea versus Huddersfield. That's how Swansea are looking at the moment. Obviously, there's a huge link with Joe Rodden to West Ham and to Spurs. So we'll see if anything comes of that tomorrow. Otherwise, they have brought in Gyökeres, I think how you pronounce it. Get your predictions in for this one, guys. Swansea versus Huddersfield. Striker on loan from Brighton. We have said for a while they don't have any strikers. Lowe and Ayew especially is a very good player, but not strikers, are they? Wide forwards or wingers or, off the front players. So maybe that will give them an extra dimension there. But good start for Swansea, and obviously beating a hard to play against, hard to beat Millwall team. Let's go on and look for Huddersfield, who have got 4 points from the last 2 games. They'll be very happy with that. Although it was a very, very late equaliser, wasn't it? Although you can see they did have plenty of play and plenty of shots at goal in that game against Rotherham, but was an own goal in the end by Angus MacDonald, wasn't it? In like the 96th or 7th minute, I think. They're still waiting on Carlin Grant. So even if they get that deal done, whether they have time to bring anybody in the other way, you're starting to see Corberon actually settle now on stuff. Obviously, Pippa is his player. Saar is his player. Eiting is his player. So he's starting to build up a team and a pattern of play using some players that were already there. Beans, this one is at Swansea. It is at Swansea, isn't it? Let me just double check. I think I've got to make the Swans favourites for this one. Again, I think Huddersfield can score, but I do think Swansea will probably get the win here. Sorry. Let me soothe my dulcet tones with some booze, as ever. Oh, crikey. Some heavy predictions here. 4-0, but it's not the only one, because John, Jay, and Charlie have all gone heavily on Swansea in the chat here. Is this going to come around? Everybody, there you go. Bradley's on Huddersfield. 3-1 Swans, a draw. Swansea win, Swansea win. Swansea win, Swansea win. Lee's on the Merlot. Very nice, my friend. Very nice too. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm with Swansea in this one, but hey, we can caveat every prediction we ever make by saying it's the championship, isn't it? It's the championship, for God's sakes. Right, who we got next? We have got Luton Town. Luton have just added Joe Morrell from Bristol City, which sounds fun, doesn't it, to go and work with Nathan Jones over there at Luton. Get your predictions in for... I haven't even given you the game, have I? Let me just scroll down and find it. See, I'm trying to save my preparation time here. Luton versus Stoke. For goodness sake, it was the one that I applied for accreditation to and didn't get. Never mind. The 3 o'clock Saturday show might be an absolute revelation, mightn't it? Predictions in Luton versus Stoke. Thanks, Jay. So whether Morrell probably might sit on the bench for this one, because Ray and Berry and Panzu have been very, very staid. Luton playing really well, aren't they? Doing a great job. Jordan Clark, you can see, starting there over Elliot Lee last time out. But it seems so settled and such a good match with Nathan Jones there, considering he's such a terrible match at Stoke. And they've added well. I don't see anybody going out. So, yeah, I like the look of that. However, when we compare Luton to Stoke in terms of budgets and squads... I mean, it won't be, and obviously it is Nathan Jones. Would it be his first go again against Stoke? I don't know if he played them since he's been back. I don't think he has. But I mean, you compare the resources, and I mean, wow, there is what Stoke are up to at the moment. I mean, just to look at the bench. Look, Tyrese Campbell, great youngster. Brown had come in for a couple of million. Powell is probably on big wages because he was a free. James McLean and Danny Barton, Jack Butland. So you can see Nathan Jones evidently is better with a smaller budget in this one. I would say Michael O'Neill might be the sort of manager Nathan Jones might not do too well against, I have to say, because Luton like to turn over the ball and counter-attack quickly, and Stoke will sit in, and then Luton will be open at times, I think. I can see Stoke getting something from this one. I'm going to go for a very drab Stoke victory in this one. Please don't get cross with me, Luton fans. But that's just how I feel about this one. I just feel it's not a good matchup for the way Luton play. Luton are always going to be better against teams that are going to be a bit proactive, whereas Stoke are quite happy to sit there and wait for something to happen. And you feel Luton might pile on a bit with their attacking style, which will ultimately win them lots of points during the season. But I don't think I've gone for a away win or anyone going lower in the table. So, let's go for Stoke in that one. Collins hat-trick, says Jerry. That would be my prediction out the window then. Luton certainly making good progress. Morrell, Sermon, Dewsbury Hall, Osho. Maybe a striker to cover Collins. Yeah, Luton, they're doing great though, aren't they? 2-0 Luton, says Martin. 1-1 says the Dan Bob. 1-1 Luton are doing well. Yes, they are. Bazzy's gone for the same one as me. 1-0 Stoke. 2-0 Stoke here. Tool says Matthew. Draw. Stoke, tough side to beat. Do I read out the crazy ones? You never know. Hey, Villa beat Liverpool 7-2, didn't they? 2-1 Stoke. Draw. Osho, amazing signing, says Charlie. Did great at Reading, going 2-0. Draw 1-1, 2-1 Stoke, 1-0 Stoke. Bart could be on his way to Blues. Yes. Well, doesn't seem to be in the team, and he's probably on a nice old wage, isn't it? So, and a 1-1 there. Pretty tight one to call. I don't suspect there will be too many goals in that one. Just a quick plug as we move on in a minute. You can support via Super Chat, even if it's 79p. Every little helps. You can also subscribe on Patreon. I can see lots of Patreons in the chat, which is wonderful. $3 tier, $5 tier. You can also help out on Amazon.co.uk. That's been good on Prime days. A few people have been using that the past couple of days. Thank you to them. Amazon.co.uk/shop/The Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe over here. Hit like as well. And I have now set up over on Facebook as well. Apparently, the thing to do is have all your content going down, lots of alleys. I know you guys are YouTube hardcore guys, but if you wouldn't mind just hitting like, just going to the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel, set up as a sports page on Facebook. Just go and hit like, and we're streaming down there as well. Quickly, Matt says, if Luton keep up the good form, could you see them being a surprise playoff contender? Well, absolutely. Yeah, if they can keep it up. I think the thing with Luton is they need to stay clear of injuries to, say, Sluga, one of Bradley or Pearson, maybe Norrington Davies, maybe Ray, and definitely need to keep those key players on the pitch, and anything will work. Thumbs up, guys. Yes, get your thumbs up here. Barry Douglas has gone to Blackburn. Who's Blackburn's left back? Amari Bell. Interesting. Again, we'll be doing transfer stuff tomorrow. Probably do a stream about sort of 4 o'clock time. So we will deal with all of that business there and then. I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. Blackburn next. And they are in 6th position. Am I on the split screen? Let's put it up so you can see it. So yeah, Blackburn in 6th. They're just on the 2 points away from that leading pack, if you can pay attention to this stuff so far. And Blackburn have the dubious distinction of Chris Hughton's first game. We get Tony Mowbray versus Chris Hughton. Low scoring one, anybody? There is your Blackburn team. Who was it who said in the comments there? I think it was Joe, wasn't it? Said about possibly Barry Douglas going in there. Who's a strange one, isn't it? There's always a player that does really well, gets promoted with someone, then gets sold as soon as they go off. I think that's what happened at Wolves. So get your predictions in. Blackburn against Forest at Blackburn, indeed. So otherwise, I mean, if Douglas signs, would he be ready? I don't see any changes there. Bradley Johnson has been the player of the month as well. Adam Armstrong, the top scorer in the division. So plenty of good news for Blackburn at the moment. Forest, am I still on split screen? Yes, you can see way down. Can't sing that low. With 0 points at the bottom of the table. Get your predictions in. But new manager bounce. Chris Hughton just getting them completely organised for the first game. Maybe knockout will come tomorrow. Last game was against Bristol City. Let's be honest. They've been all over the place team selection-wise, Forest. So your guess is as good as mine. We genuinely can't make a sense of, unless you've been watching Forest training and you've got the insider track of Chris Hughton. Look, we know Bryce Samba will play and Lewis Grabban will probably play. But then again, Lamucci dropped Grabban against Huddersfield, didn't he? So otherwise, I don't know what Hughton's going to do. But at this level, and I always say this about Hughton, at this level with backing, he's a very, very good manager and has been a very, very good manager. We will find out whether A, he'll get the backing, or B, he's still a very, very good manager. Blackburn 2, Forest 2, says Bradley. 4 goals would be nice. 2-1, Blackburn, says Charlie. 2-0, Forest. Surely the losing run will end. Board draw, 0-0. Oh, I've got to take Douglas out of my fantasy team, have I? I don't know the rules about that. Can I just leave him there because he was nice and cheap, wasn't he? Home win, says Chris. Losing Rumble with a draw. 2-1 Forest. A Houghtonally. Nice, like it, Jason. 1-0 Forest win. Where we going? Forest play after the new manager. 1-0 Forest. 2-1 Blackburn. I think we've got a couple more there. 2-1 Blackburn, says Lewis. 2-1 Blackburn. 0-0, says Noel. And I think that's about it. Look, I am going to believe in what I'm sure is the complete fallacy of the new manager bounce and say that Chris Hughton is going to win on his debut. That's it. 2 away wins in a row for me. What is going on? So let's go for a Forest win away at Blackburn. Hey, stranger things have happened. Why not? All a bit of fun, isn't it? Right, are we still on the split screen? No, that means I can go and find out who Watford are playing. Well, I know who they're playing. They're playing away at Derby tomorrow night because it is our watch-along. Will we see any of the Fab Four there? Troy Deeney, Andre Gray, Ismail Assar, Etienne Capoue. Are we going to see any of those leave before tomorrow? Get your predictions in. Derby versus Watford. Probably doesn't really matter to Watford when you still see who they've got available there. Be interesting to see what the post-transfer window Watford does actually end up looking like and what Ivic has to play with. But still plenty of quality there. But I guess if you take a Sarr out of there and, I mean, they haven't used Deeney or Gray yet. So it still looks strong though, don't they? Have a look at the bench. Sema, Murray, Paseta, Cleverly, Troost, Ekong. So, yeah, Watford still stacked, but I still think they're going to be off and on the phone tomorrow doing deals. I think it's going to be a lot of interest in trying to pick up their players on a good deal, let's just say. They are off to Derby. Now, I saw Derby in the flesh at Norwich, and they won, but it was one of those games where it looked like a unique tactic, literally just for that game. As you can see, the sofa score shape is not lying. It was a very defensive 5-4-1. Worked an absolute treat, though. And Wayne Rooney pinged a free kick in the top corner. Derby have signed a striker today, haven't they? Oh, God, double-barreled surname. Someone put it down in the chat. Colin Kazim Richards. There you go. I got there first. Blast from the past. I'm sure Derby fans may have wanted a less of a blast from the past than somebody new, but there you go. I think Derby are in an all right position because they got rid of Bogle and Lowe, so I think they already managed to keep the wolves from the doors. Although, as I said in my transfer predictions video, I'm sure if someone comes with silly money for Sibley or Bird, I don't know. And Jason Knight was really good in that game, absolutely superb for that goal as well. Sean, thank you so much. I will drink to that, sir. Cheers. A £1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. So let's have a look at your predictions for Derby versus Watford. Let's have a look here. You have heavy lag, mouth and sound. Let me know how it's looking for you. Could just be, hopefully it's just your internet, Noel, and not mine. But if I do, there's absolutely bugger all I can do about it. Just hope my internet catches up. But thank you for letting me know. 2-0 Watford, says Bazzy. Oh, 3-2. That'd be fun on a watch along, wouldn't it, John? 3-0 Watford. Callum loves Yao Pedro, doesn't he? 3 away wins in a row, says Jay. Maybe. We haven't done Millwall yet, Alex. No. 2-1, says Noel. 2-1 Derby. Reading in for Gray. Ooh, interesting. That'll cost you. 4-1 Watford, says Nick. 2-2. A set-piece watch-along goal. There's always one, isn't there? Away win, says the great Chris Dowling. Lewis says 1-0 Derby. Scrappy win. Again, Kazim Richards will be playing. Oh, he's been training for 2 weeks, has he? Yeah. There you go. Lewis is in the know there. Watford too strong, says Wayne. Gray is quality. Indeed. 2-1 Watford, 2-1 Watford, 2-1 Watford, 2-0 Watford. 1-0 to Derby there. a 1-1, a 2-2, an entertaining draw. Yes, please, on the watch along. That would be nice. Narrow 1-0 win for Watford. Kazim Richards must be about 50 now. Classic. Stream looks fine. Fingers crossed everything's looking good. 2-0 Watford. Being Jay picked out, it would be 3 away wins in a row. That fills me with trepidation that I could possibly pick a third away win in a row. Should we do it? No. Let's go for a weird one. Let's go for a Derby win in this one. Derby to beat Watford. Reading did, didn't they? I'm just playing contrarian with what everyone's saying in the chat now. Silly me. I hate contrarians as well. But when you're making predictions, hey. Logic goes out of the window, doesn't it, guys? Real quickly, just a quick shout out again to our fan sponsor for the preview show this season, the Donovan brothers, in loving memory of Michael. There you can see in the picture, South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of this show, and the Donovan brothers sadly lost Michael this year, and their sponsorship is in tribute to their brother, which I think is a wonderful touch, and we thank them kindly for their support. Right. Where are we going now? If it was Millwall, that would be fitting for Michael, but I haven't planned that out very well at all, have I? We go into Birmingham, who are unbeaten, and they will be playing Sheffield Wednesday. Aitor Karanka vs Gary Monk. That'll put bums on seats, as once famously was said in wrestling commentary back in the day. Birmingham, Sheffield Wednesday. What did Birmingham get up to last time out? They got a draw over at Stoke, but they nearly got a win, actually, in a typically Karanka-esque, solid fashion. Don't think any ins or outs. If there's any Birmingham fans, let me know what's happening with Lecco. Does he appear on the bench there? How fit he is. He's a bit of an X factor for them. Perhaps, with it being a home game against Wednesday, we might see Hogan and Jutkovic. I don't know. I'm sure the Blues fans will let me know. Can't see anyone going out from Birmingham tomorrow, especially being they got a big payday for Jude Bellingham. So, yeah, Birmingham, nice and solid. Just depends whether Karanka goes wild and plays Hogan and Jutkovic. Hulkamania, running wild. Too many 90s wrestling references there in 1 2-minute period. Where are we going? Sheffield Wednesday, who, as I said, would be 13th in the table, were it not for the -12. I think that's exactly where Wigan would have finished. So it does go to prove that generally, even at this point in the season, -12 will take you from 13th to, well, bottom, obviously. The longer you go during the season. Interesting one, Barry Bannon being linked with Brentford. That'd be a lot of fun, and he would love their old pattern of play, wouldn't he? Sheffield Wednesday, I don't think there's been much. I know they've been in the links for Austin and Zahor, but I think the domino for all of that is Carl Grant first, isn't it? So I would suspect once that deal is done, Grant to West Brom, maybe you'll then see Austin and or Zahor going out. So it's that old cascade theory we always have, the old chain in a housing move, isn't it? You just got to wait for the dominoes to start to fall. Get your predictions in. Birmingham, Sheffield Wednesday. Where are we up to here? Yeah, I did. I absolutely bottled it. I'm on the white today. I'm on the sparkling, actually. Can you see it sparkle? No, because I opened it last night, but you have to drink it all up before you can get back to the good old red stuff, can't you? But there we go. Right, where are we going? Birmingham 1, Wednesday 3, says Charlie. 1-1, says Matthew. John, the Birmingham fan, says Wednesday will win. Unbelievable. Bias 3-1 Blues win. Wednesday suffering with injuries. 1-1, says Jason. 3-2, says Jay in the Karanka versus Monk battle. I hope you're right. Home win, says Chris. Lecco could be on the bench. I can't wait to see how he is used. I follow is the only winner here. 0-0 board draw. Nil. Where am I looking? 0-1. 0-0 look evenly matched. brother. Tony Schiavone. Sorry. Yeah. You got my quote, didn't you, there? Yes, exactly. That was the irony. That'll put bums on seats, wasn't it? Hey, 1-0 win there. Brum 1. Chef Ed, you got to finish. Oh, yeah, you go. He's got the 2 there. I think I am going draw, but someone is going to equalise late on in this one again, and it'll help neither team. I think Birmingham will win 1-0. Do you think they could become the real deal or another false dawn? I don't know what you mean by the real deal, Harry, but they're certainly going to be hard to beat, and they certainly are, well, undefeated, hard to beat. They're impossible to beat so far. Jay would take a dull 1-0 all day long, wouldn't we all? Hey? Wouldn't we all? Where are we going next? We are going to... We've done QPR, haven't we? We've done Borough. We're going to Millwall, who are playing away at Wycombe Wanderers. Wycombe obviously looking for their first point of the season. They'll be playing at home. They'll be playing against Rowett's Millwall. Is this a good matchup for them? Not so sure. Wycombe at home to Millwall. Get your predictions in for this one. Millwall, nicely settled, aren't they? They've been playing that system for ages now, haven't they? Was Troy Parrott on the bench? Is he still not fit? I've been looking forward to seeing him, and he just has not got fit, has he? Well, Wycombe really did stink it out when we saw them at home to Swansea on the watch along. They were rubbish for about 30 minutes, weren't they? So, yeah, I wouldn't expect too much difference in terms of selection from Millwall. There maybe, do you put Matt Smith in because it's Wycombe and you might need him defensively from time to time? I don't know. Will Rowett even be thinking about it in that manner? Wycombe, 4 defeats, no goals for, and 10 goals against. This is what they put out over at Luton. Did Wycombe bring in another loan? I think Wycombe have brought in another loan in the back 4. I can't remember. I'm on transfer update number 27 or something, so it's all coagulating. How's that for a word? Get your predictions in, by the way. Wycombe at home to Millwall. Ainsworth versus Rowett. Let's have a look here. Always worth a mill. This has got home win written all over it, says Alex. Wycombe are a bit of a bogey side for us, says Gaza. They'll probably pick up 3 of their 25 points. 2-1. Here come the more realistic predictions. 3-0 Millwall. 3-0 Millwall. 1-1 says John. 1-1 Jay. 1-0 Wycombe, says Jason. Wycombe's first point of the season. Away win, says Chris. 1-0 Wycombe. 2-0 Millwall. 3-0 Millwall. Harry says a controversial 2-0 Wycombe. 3-1 Millwall. Wycombe have started to defend well. Well, they need to score some goals because at the moment they're 4-0 against 10. But I suppose they couldn't have defended much worse than that first 30 minutes against Swansea, where they were totally overrun by the Swans. Wycombe to get their first win, 1-0. Parrott is still out, but he's back with Spurs, back from Spurs and training with us. Interesting. Wonder if he'd be one of those busts. He just never plays for Millwall. Fred McCarthy, Allsop and Akinfenwa. Yes, definitely a link there. Wycombe have been saying their prayers and eating their vitamins, hey? The 24-inch pythons. Wycombe 3, Millwall 0. 2-0 Millwall. Parrott 3 weeks away, says Gaza. I've got to go for Millwall in this one. Surely they'll just grind this out. Even if they don't play well, they should have enough to keep the clean sheet and get at least a couple of goals. They're getting closer to scoring their first goal, says Jay. I can't tell you which game we're up to. I think we've done 6 or 7 now, haven't we? I can tell you where we're up to in the table, though. Are we still on split screen? We'll bring it up so you can see it. There we go. We are up to Rotherham. who are playing Norwich City. What an interesting matchup. An interesting matchup. What did Rotherham do last time out? They've only lost one game, Rotherham. Who did they lose to? They lost at home to Millwall. Which would suggest that, before I completely make this up, let's look who they've actually played. So they've played Wycombe, they've played Millwall, they've played Birmingham, and they've played Huddersfield. That's very interesting because they've probably played some of the more teams that are actually good without the ball in the course of their first 3 games there. I mean, on paper, given the squads and the complete just chasm in finances, Norwich should walk all over this game, but it's the Championship, isn't it? Barlasa is in now. I think was he there before that game? And they've also, Joseph Zoon, I think, is going to be in there at Rotherham as well. And Tilt has gone out or is going out from Rotherham down to Wigan. But if you want a settled pattern of play, Rotherham is it, and a settled sort of system there. Norwich, obviously, I saw them last time out. And the only thing stopping Norwich at the moment is it just feels a little bit chaotic. Obviously, there's been links for loads and loads of their players. Pookie is not confident. Buendia played, but was acting slightly crazy, I have to say. They brought back Steeperman. Campbell may still go to Leeds before tomorrow. Don't know whether they can do any kind of deal with Brentford. It looks like Aarons is going to be there for the duration. And we just remain to find out whether Norwich Mark II, Daniel Farker, essentially his second iteration of a Norwich team, is going to be how it's going to compare to Norwich Mark I. Norwich Mark I were brilliant and way too good for the Championship. But obviously Godfrey's gone from that team now. And Lewis has gone from that team. And the midfield was in the main sort of tribal, sometimes Tetty, and now they're sort of going with Skip. We haven't seen Sørensen yet. Just feels they need to get it together. And it's probably not a good time to play Rotherham, who'll be very organised and will work Gibson and Zimmerman. Again, though, I'll reiterate, on quality and on, finances and all of those things, Norwich should be beating Rotherham, but it doesn't work like that way, does it? It don't work that way. Where are we looking? You said McCarthy, sorry. Will I make another giveaway, Eluca? Sure. Charlie says 3-1 to Norwich. I think the Swans result depends on if Swans or Huddersfield sell Rodden or Grant. Yeah. I think possibly neither will be there. 2-1 Norwich, says Matthew. Congratulations. Iain starting a new job this past Monday. I will just break from proceedings to say thank you to Jim, who, as ever, has been very kind. He says Fizzy Stuff Fund. Thank you, sir. And donates a tenner. Very, very kind. I always get a couple of bottles of Fizzy just in case Shaylee wants to drink with me. So I'm not to say about people drinking on their own, don't you? Hey, shocking. Right, where are we going? We were there. Ed, 4-0 Norwich. 3-0 Norwich, says Jay. Rotherham home win, says QPR. John says, one defender injured, one being sold and one coming in, and no strikers. We are stuck. Rotherham lose 4-0. Confident. Rotherham 1-0, says Jason. 2-1 Norwich, away win. Is Vaughan self-isolating? I don't know. I don't know, Bazzy. If anyone's got a link to that, they can post in the chat. 2-1 Norwich, 3-1 Norwich, 1-1 draw, 2-1 Norwich, 3-0 Norwich, 1-0 Rotherham, 2-1 Norwich. And I think we're just about there for the predictions. Jim says 5-0 to Norwich. It's one of those, isn't it, where if Rotherham can, and this sounds really cynical, if Rotherham can keep the ball out of play for long periods of time, get that ball in play time down around the sort of 60-minute markers, or lower. But what was it in the game against Wickham, like 37 minutes or something like that? Slow things down, stop Norwich building up a head of steam, then maybe they can do something. But I've got to go for Norwich in this one, I have to say. John says, yes, a family member has COVID. That might make a difference as well. Right, where are we going next? Thank you, by the way, for the 2 super chats. Brilliant stuff from Sean and from Jim. Very, very kind. Indeed, makes a big difference in this struggle we are going through. Although I did actually book a couple. I think I booked like 3 gigs over the last couple of days coming towards the end of the year. So nice. Good. Right, where are we going next? We've done Stoke, haven't we? Brentford. Brentford will be playing at home to Coventry, one of the 3 o'clocks on Saturday. Brentford had that crazy game against Preston. Now get the predictions in. Brentford against Coventry should be a good game of football, that shouldn't it? They had the crazy game against Preston, didn't they, where they lost 4-2. And if I scroll the screen properly, you'll be able to see that. You can see Rico Henry wasn't around for that. I think, did Said Benrahma come off the bench? I think he did. I suspect he may well not be on their bench on Saturday. He may well be at another club, but that saga rolls on, and we've talked about that a lot. Josh De Silva has had a really, really good start to the season, hasn't he? You can see another assist there for him. And Ivan Toney with 2 goals has started scoring. But quite the turnaround from 2-0 up to concede 4 second-half goals there against Preston in that game. I think it was last Sunday, wasn't it? Excuse me. Coventry, well, they're very stable, aren't they, in terms of team selection? The only possible changes there, Allen may be in for Shipley, is the only thing we've really seen different than that. And they've got McCullum again as a backup wing-back. But very stable and solid in terms of their selection. It's just, will Brentford click and can Coventry cope with it? Let's have a look and see what you guys say. Chris says 2-0 Bees. 2-2 draw, says Jim. 2-2 Cov, says John. 2-1 Bees. 3-1 Bees. 1-0 Bees. 2-2 draw. Bees win. 2-1 Bees. Mark says upset of the week. Smash and grab for the mighty Sky Blues. Love it. 2-1 Cov, says Charlie. Coventry dark horse for the playoffs. Wow. 3-1 Bees. 2-0 Bees. Brentford's playoff defeat hangover to continue. Gaza, he's written the headline as well as the score. There you go. 2-2 Ed, 2-1 Joe, 1-1, 1-1. Jay says, I predict 3-2 in Karanga versus Monk, but Frank versus Robbins is going to go through 1-0. Where am I looking here? Lots of energy, but a 2-0 for Cov, but a 2-0. A 2-0 win for the Bees. Cod's Vlog says 2-1 Brentford, 1-1 and 4-1 Brentford. Look, we saw what happened to Coventry against a team like Bournemouth, who both teams trying to play football in an open way. I think the quality then comes out, doesn't it? So I think Coventry's survival and success this season will be predicated more against, I think they'll beat a lot of teams in the middle of the table, put it out. I think they'll be better organised and have a better pattern of play. But away at Brentford, nah, not for me. I'm afraid. So that's a guaranteed Coventry win. So I'm going to go for a Brentford win there. We are working our way. Working my way back to you, babe. What's that? Detroit Spinners? Someone let me know in the comments. Preston is where we're working our way to. Can you see that on the split screen? Yes, you can. Champion. Preston versus Cardiff. Alex Neil versus Neil Harris. That'd be a good fight, actually, wouldn't it? I suspect Alex Neil would be one of like those crazy little blokes, wouldn't he? That's actually really quite hard. He's Scottish as well, isn't he? Right, there is your Cardiff lineup from last time out. That's not going to change, is it? In fact, if they're all fit, I can see that being exact. Cardiff got quite a small squad this season, haven't they? So, so yeah, I don't really foresee much in the way of changes there. In terms of Preston, where is this game, by the way? It's at Preston. Interesting. Preston obviously lined up. They've got this new striker, Reeve. Was he on the bench? Yes, he was. He got 12 minutes there. So maybe we're going to start to see him integrated up top. Maybe Sean Maguire can go back out wide. They're starting to settle, aren't they, Preston? Always outperform themselves. But yeah, let's just see if the new striker has any kind of impact at all. I think Preston are going to win this one. Probably win it like 2-1 or something like that. Let's have a look and see what you guys say. Come on, Preston, says William. Alistair says, I'm happy because don't like it when you predict a Reading win. What did I predict? Did I predict Reading would win? I can't remember. If he's happy, I'll probably predict them to lose then because I'll always get it wrong, won't I? Preston 0, Cardiff 1, says Charlie. 2-1 Preston. He agrees with me. 2-1 Cardiff. Yeah, we're all over the place. Yeah, the Spinners. There we go. Can't believe Wednesday rejected the Brentford bid for Bannon. How much was it, Jim? Any idea? Or was it undisclosed like everything is? 2-1 Preston, says John. 3-2 Preston. Alistair says, serious prediction, feeling a 2-1. A Sinclair double. Not so serious prediction. Emil Reich to start. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see a new regular striker in there at Preston. Feels like it's been a while. Name that tune. Surname to beat Christian name 2-1. Preston 4-4. Wow. 2-2. Depends which Preston turns up. 2-2. Not a lot of love for Cardiff in this one, let's just say. So I'm going to hack through these. I predicted a draw, did I? There you go. Douglas would be loan, not sold. Did I say that? I can't remember. Predicted a draw. Okay, nice. Right, where are we going next? I think we're nearly there, aren't we? I've said that on about the last three. We've done Cardiff, we've done Norwich, we've done Cov, we've done Huddersfield, we've done Derby, we've done Barnsley, we've done Forest. I think we've done them all. Have we done all 12 games, guys? Let me just bring up the fixtures by round. And hopefully we will have done them all. I'm just scanning up. QPR. Yes, we have done all of those games. And look, right at the 59-minute mark. So that's worked out very, very nicely. You can still support via Super Chat, Patreon, or Amazon Shop. If anybody has got any questions, let's take them now. I'll read out some other comments. Adam Armstrong to win the Golden Boot. Could happen. I suspect he'll be linked away. Leeds v Wolves, says Bazzy. I've recorded and filmed Dearly Departed, which will be out tomorrow. So, yeah, that will be on there. Thoughts on Joe Morrell to go Casey Palmer to Swansea on loan. I like the sound of that. There's definitely a player in Casey Palmer, isn't there? Just can't put it together. Chris says, useless stat. It's not useless because I'm already laughing. Preston haven't scored at home. Cardiff haven't conceded away. So that means that Cardiff are going to keep a clean sheet. Yes? Are we behind that one? Also, check out in these videos, Chris will put his whole row of predictions up in brilliant detail. He's a great mind for this, is Chris. Is Alan Brown still playing right back? No, thankfully. He's been back in the number 10, hasn't he? Ben, where are Bristol City going to finish? God, what did I predict? I have to stick with my pre-season prediction, which was, did I have them in the top half? I think I did. Did I have them like 10th or something? I can't remember. Do you know what I should do? I should write down and just have, I've got a whiteboard up there. I should just have it on the corner of the whiteboard. Be happy with Palmer. Rather have Wilson. Lots of links. Harry Wilson, various clubs here. Where was he last season, Harry? Was it Bournemouth? Wonder if Bournemouth could take him back. And Derby linked, Swansea linked as well. Oh, Jay's on it. 12th, I predicted for Bristol City. Got to stick with your pre-season predictions. The amount of times I get asked, Ben, are you going to change your prediction for this? What do you think of your prediction now? And I'm like, got to stick with it, haven't you? Hey, you can't judge me on a different standard than you've got now, having another 6 weeks of information. That's not fair, is it? Either we both make the predictions at exactly the same time, or you wait until the prediction I've actually made has come true or false, and then we talk about it. So, no, I'm sticking with all of my predictions, even the one that had Bournemouth 14th. I think that one might stitch him up. It's the thing I was trying to predict, and this is so silly when you think about it. I was trying to predict the completely unpredictable one, but go figure, Ben. It's completely unpredictable. Reading have been linked with Fabio Barini. Nice. Watford to win the championship, says Edward. Mark, thank you, sir. I've got like one drip of booze. Deary me. But he's in Texas. Lovely stuff, Mark. I hope you got plenty of space there and life isn't being too badly affected by COVID. Very, very kind. Hong Dong-ji, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi from Charleston, SC, South Carolina, on the ball city. Brilliant stuff. Hong, you can watch this, just spool back and you can watch again. And Norwich was a fair way through because they're playing Rotherham, aren't they? Let's have a look. Any thoughts on Project Big Picture? I've done a couple of videos on that. I was a little bit disappointed with the response to my comments because I thought I laid out quite a nuanced view. And it strikes me that YouTube and a lot of people on YouTube just wanted banging the fist against the table, yelling and saying, big club bad, small club oppressed. And obviously that's not me. And I'm not gonna do that. And that's all well and good and might get you a few quick views, but there's far bigger things at play here and clubs potentially going under in the future if we don't sort this. So I'm not going to, and I have to say I'm quite annoyed by some of the takes I've seen on YouTube, which are clearly just for views. They just want to yell at the screen and, yell at the big oppressive big clubs and whatnot. When the truth is, what people need to be talking about is the massive problem we have with the unequal distribution of money in English football that does need to be sorted out. Obviously, Project Big Picture is probably not going to be the way to do that. But if it starts a conversation that stops this ridiculous business that I on this channel have been talking about for years now, years about Champions League, cliff edge, Premier League, cliff edge, parachutes, cliff edge. And I think it was Cod's Vlogs actually was in the chat earlier, sent me a brilliant tweet earlier about the Premier League has 90% of the wealth. Then the EFL has 8%, but 75% of that 8% goes to the 3 parachute clubs. It's like, go figure why we're in a complete mess. So I did give my thoughts on Project, Project Big Picture. But I have to say, I think there was a lot of anger around. And I think people, frankly, just wanted me to bash on the table and say big club bad. And I just think we're past that. We understand. I think at this channel, we understand the debate a little bit better than that. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So, I've kept a wide berth away from it since these comments now that I'm making. But I stand by my comments that something needs to be done. Obviously, some people misinterpreted that as me either advocating it or, frankly, they just wanted me to yell at Man United and Liverpool. And it's like, well, really? Not my thing, frankly, but there you go. Jason says, any news on King or Brooks? I know it's Everton could get King, Brooks possibly Liverpool. Yeah, you would have thought with those two, if someone really wanted them, they'd have been in for them already. So it might be, can we do something on deadline day? You might see a speculative lowball bid and see where it goes from then in the morning tomorrow. But we'll see. We will see. Harry says he's impressed with Blackburn. They are a team that can score goals. Definitely a player to continue. What's your opinion on Blackburn? Yeah, well, with my biased Ipswich hat on, I really like Tony Mowbray. He just seems to have wasted the money that he has had. He hasn't spent in terms of just Brereton and Gallagher, where they've been fairly big signings. That hasn't gone so well for him. And all the times when he's spent next to nothing, I mean, like Kaminsky, the goalkeeper, looks like the next one of when he spends no money, he does a really good job. He just needs to be able to make the bigger signing and for it to make an impact. But I'm loving the look of Dolan and Armstrong and Brereton up front. So, yeah, tremendous. Let's have a look here. What else have we got? Top 2 for Bristol City, says Anir. Love it. Jay says you can't really predict the full season after it started. You can disagree with your predictions. Yeah, but why would I do that though, Jay? Because I've made them before the season. So the time to disagree with predictions made before the season is before the season, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. Look, you know me. I'll do the video at the end of the season. We'll have a good laugh if I've got it wrong. And I will say there will be people that are going, oh, Ben, you predicted this. You're going to be mighty wrong. And they will go quiet by the end of the season. Believe you me, I've had it every single season. And sometimes I turn out to be right and they turn out to be wrong. And then they go very, very quiet after that. So, but what I will say, and what I always say about football banter, is the only way not to lose is to not join in. And I do not join in. So enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, especially if your team is up at the top of the league and you think that they may or may not stay there. Who knows? Is it bluster? 7 months of football behind closed doors. No end in sight. Goodness me. Are Ipswich going to get promoted or will they crash after Christmas again? I don't know. Hopefully. Go get another bottle and stay for a chat. We haven't got the dogs. That was always a good way. The dogs are coming on Saturday. You take the dog for a walk and just pop into Budgeons and buy another bottle. But there you go. Leeds 2020 is off. Enjoy. Do you think Jack Wilshere is a good signing for Reading if the contract is agreed? Depends the number written on that contract, because I know he's been paid a fortune over his time. And yeah, as long as the wage isn't ludicrous, then of course. Bournemouth to win the championship, says Abel. Same here. Imagine playing for the club you support. Adoma will play his heart out for QPR. Lovely stuff. Where are we going? Project Big Picture was quite good terms for EFL, but a Big Six power players. Yeah, exactly. And the point that Gaza makes is we can't just reject the Big Six power play and say no to that, because still the EFL is still in quite a state, isn't it? So obviously we don't want lots of clubs or a few clubs taking lots of power. But let's be real about this. If they don't open the stadiums until April and we go virtually a whole season behind closed doors, some clubs are screwed without a rescue package. So this needs doing, and whatever the price has to be paid, but it needs doing. And that is not me advocating for Man United and Liverpool getting lots of power. Project Big Picture should be called Project Little Picture. There we go. Ijari is back after illness. Nice. Good player. Am I still... Oh, God, I didn't do a quiz, did I? Dear oh me. Should we do it at Christmas, Alex? I might have it organised by then. There we go. Yes, I am aware that Adoma supports QPR and gets to play for them. Wonderful. Be like me playing for Ipswich, eh? Any idea which 6 championship clubs are on the brink of administration? Flip a coin. Could be any of them. Absolutely any of them. Except Rotherham and Millwall, probably. Thoughts on Nicolaisen and Norwich to France? Yeah, shame it didn't work out. Looked like a good player, but, 2 straight managers didn't want to play him despite all the amazing assist numbers and whatnot. So, yeah. Chris says the rescue package has to be separate from any reform. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be nice. Did you get the email from Parliament? Parliament will discuss fans coming back. Good. And so they should. Very, very important. As was said yesterday, Project Big Picture sugar-coated cyanide pill. Indeed. Jay, congratulations. £13.34. He's betting on Dutch second division games. Jay, if there's anything you need to talk about, mate, I'm just the other end of a tweet if you're betting on Dutch second division games. Unbelievable. League One and League Two clubs have rejected the 50 million. Any thoughts? It's so difficult, Chris, to give decent thoughts, isn't it? Because unless I see in terms I understand what's actually being proposed. And let's be honest, if I had the proposal put in front of me and it was in legal speak, I probably wouldn't understand it anyway. It's very hard to actually keep up with what's actually being proposed. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions on Project Big Picture. And if you ask them this one vital question, have you read the proposals? They'll immediately go quiet because they're thumping the table and trying to get their YouTube views. And they haven't read the thing they're talking about. I always, always kind of use that as a sort of go-to thing of, have you actually read up on what you're talking about? Or have you just retweeted something? Or are you just playing into the public anger to get retweets or YouTube views, which I'm not an advocate of. But there you go. Harry Wilson possibly going to Championship, you'd have thought. Yeah, that does seem... I agree with that, Jason. You thought he'd worked his way up after the Derby loan. Oh, dear. We got some homophobic abuse here. Dylan, goodbye. You are blocked. Liverpool want stupid money for Wilson. Well, they got stupid money for Brewster, didn't they? So, yeah. I guess they're holding out for that. We're very lucky to have Mr. Berylson as chairman. So I've heard, but even really well-run clubs like Rotherham and Millwall cannot survive another 4 or 5 months with no income coming in. Doesn't matter because well-organised clubs will have, budgeted for this money to come in. So, yes. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Oh, that's a good question, just quickly from Julian Servideo. Great stuff. Can Reading and Bristol City keep up? I'll leave that one in the chat before I go off. My preseason prediction says no, but I could be wrong. And we will see. And, good luck to them. Hey, no one predicted either of them to be in the top 2 at this point. So, there we go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And for those guys commenting about the abuse I just got, please don't worry. You know me. The most offensive thing you can say to me is that I'm biased or I'm immoral when it comes to football. That will really tick me off. But any kind of silly homophobic abuse, it's like, really? I can cope with that. It's when people... it hurts far more like when someone says, oh, you have an agenda against this team. It's like, no, so wrong. So wrong. Right. If you want to shout out, let me know before we go. Make me blue. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Please, as I said, go over to Facebook and like the Benjamin Bloom football channel page I've put up on there. Let me just bring it up on my phone so you can see what it looks like. Oh, it looks like a couple of you have liked it. That's tremendous. How do I even find this? I don't know how to use this app. There it is. So it should look something like that, if you can even see that amidst all of the light there. So, right. Thank you, everybody. Let's do some shout outs. Julian wants the league code for fantasy is here. Are you listening, Julian? T5QBR0. T5QBR0. Yes, no agenda from here. Right, let's give shout outs to Jay. Ben is agenda fluid. Nice. Charlie, shout out there. QPR. By the way, check out Charlie's YouTube. He's doing a bit of a fundraiser thing to say thank you to the guys who are treating his cancer, which shows what sort of a guy Charlie is. Most people would just be focusing on that, but he's being kind, obviously. So go and check that out. Up the Bees, says Chris. Thank you for joining. Alistair, Gaza, David, Alistair, Alex, Charlie. Stop it, Jay. Julian. And there it is. Well done, Bazzy. T5QBR0 is the code. Right. This has been really, really fun. Dearly Departed will be out, I think, tomorrow lunchtime. I've already filmed it, so we'll do a couple of clips in the morning. And then we are into deadline day, about 4 o'clock. And then what have we got tomorrow night? Derby versus Watford. Come and join me for that. And then, quite probably, the 3 o'clock football show, which would be great. What have we got here? Woke people annoy Ben too. God, they're the worst, aren't they? I suppose fascists are bad, but woke people are just as bad, aren't they? God. Night. Cheers, Mark. Bravo to Charlie. There we go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you very soon. Over and out.